All right. Welcome to another edition of Get Naked with Your Marketing with Chala Dincoy from Coachtactics and my special guest today in a thick sweater, David Newman from Do It Marketing. So tell us, David, is it really cold where you are?
Well, being in the U.S., we can't really compete, but it is fairly cold. It's in the teens, so 18, 19 degrees, little snow on the ground. I would get naked, but this is kind of a rated G family program.
That's right. I think it was your idea that my series be featured with people in a towel.
I can run and get a towel if you want.
Does that sound like it was your idea?
It does, actually.
I think it does.
Sorry.
So David and I met because you kind of interviewed me for a series that we did for a 100-day series for the CAPS convention.
Yes.
That's where we met for the Canadian Professional Speakers Association.
You bet.
So I'm thrilled that you want to get naked with me in that way. In
many ways, but this may be the primary way.
That way, but I've had a lot of women on the show, so
hey,
it goes both ways.
So much the better. So much the better. Share the love. Share the love.
Always wants the women. So tell us about what you do. I mean, gosh, we can already kind of see your presenter badges in the corner of the office.
There they are.
Tell us what you do for a living.
So, I am a speaker and a marketing consultant, and I work almost exclusively with solo professionals. So, speakers, coaches, consultants, authors, folks who love doing the work of what they're doing, but they're not quite sure how to market themselves as that smart guy or smart gal for hire. So, I help them get more clients, have more fun, make more money.
And, how did you become that? What were you before? Like a used car salesman?
Yes, I sold a lot of cars, and man, oh man, I have a 1979 Chevrolet in my driveway that you gotta have a look at. It is mint. I'm talking mint.
You weren't really, were you?
No. So I came out, so my background, very, very quickly, my academic background is in theater. So I have an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree in theater, did 4 years of professional theater in New York City as a director. So director, stage manager, assistant director, literary manager, all that kind of stuff. During that time, I was also teaching because you can't really make a living unless you're really famous doing theater in New York. This is memo number one. But so I had this teaching job, and then a friend of mine says, hey, David, you could do this teaching thing for companies, and that's called corporate training. And you might be able to make a living at that. So I got my first corporate training job in 1992.
Wow.
Did internal corporate training, coaching, and consulting for 10 years. Left that in 2002. Started my entrepreneurial adventure in 2002. Made every mistake in the book. I was the classic entrepreneur train wreck, and we can talk about that later, but just awful. You would not want to see me in my first 2 or 3 years of business.
Wow.
Knocked all kinds of things, knocked against all kinds of walls, hit every possible dead end. Took me about 3 years to get my head screwed on straight. And then here we are, I'm in my 13th year of business now, maybe 10 years having my head screwed on straight, and the first 3 years being a train wreck that we'll never speak of again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Theater in New York.
Yes.
I was in New York very recently, and the people there are so nice.
Yes, I mean, certainly, they can be, you have the whole spectrum. You have incredibly rude, all the way to actually very, very nice, kind of gruff exterior, heart of gold.
That's what in Canada, they say Canadians are nice, but they say New Yorkers are so nasty, but my God, even the cab drivers were so nice.
Yeah. Well, New York gets bad PR.
Yeah.
And Canada gets good PR because you're all nice.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You're here quite often, aren't you?
I am. Well, another little piece of kind of inside trivia background, I was actually born in Canada.
Okay, tell us, where?
And so I was born in Montreal and was there from age 0 to 5. I speak no French. I never did. My parents are Hungarian immigrants that were in Montreal. And so then, but my first 30 years in the U.S., I was a green card carrying Canadian citizen, U.S. permanent resident. And then when our second child was born, our son, I said, my wife's American, my kids are American, I may as well change teams. So then I went for the U.S. citizenship. But still, I show my U.S. passport at the Canadian customs. It says, place of birth, Montreal, Canada. They still say to me, welcome back.
Aww.
And it always gets me every time. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, they're not going to let me go.
Aww,
Very quick, funny story. We did a vacation. We went up to Niagara Falls and then Toronto and the whole thing. And I hand over the 4 passports. So it's me, my wife, and the 2 kids. 4 U.S. passports. The guard's looking at it. She looks in the car. She says, "Sir, is there anyone else in the vehicle who's a Canadian citizen besides you?" And I said, No. I'm American. That's an American passport. She says, "Sir, it says here you were born in Montreal, so let me ask you the question again. Is there anyone in the car besides you who's a Canadian citizen?" I said, "Nope, just me."
Wow.
So they don't want to let me go.
Well, do you blame them?
I don't.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was born in Montreal too. Royal Vic Hospital?
Catherine Booth Hospital.
Gosh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's in, I forget the district or the area, but I think it may actually be closed now. It may be like a research thing now and no longer a working hospital.
First of all, it sounds too English.
Yeah, exactly. It's in that part of the, let's not get involved with like the poor English people in Quebec. Yeah.
That's going to be a different kind of naked marketing.
Yeah, that's like naked beatings.
Naked politics.
Yeah.
So, okay, you talked about your mistakes, and I love that. It's part of the reason why I asked you here is because you're so damn honest.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, I love that. So, talk to me about your absolute worst marketing mistake that you could kill yourself for.
Well, so I'll give you a couple, but they're all in the same category. And this is huge, and I know that you teach this, and I teach this, and a lot of people struggle with this. Early on, I lacked some self-confidence in the marketing and sales arena, which is kind of funny, because, we always say that you teach what you most need to learn yourself. But this is even before I specialized in marketing and sales and business development. So, the mistake was, I trusted all the wrong people. And I thought that everyone was just, I had these 2 nightmare partnerships from hell. Because I trusted the wrong people for the wrong reason. They were kind of narcissistic sociopaths, both in their different special way. It was just awful. So this lack of confidence and this feeling that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not marketing savvy, you're not sales savvy, you're not technically savvy, you're not numbers savvy, whatever it is that is sending you into the arms of some erstwhile partner, somebody who wants to be, who wants to kind of hang on to your coattails and hitch their star to your wagon. Just awful. So my advice around that, because I can't reveal a horrible mistake without at least giving some advice, is you gotta trust yourself. If something doesn't feel right, and this is true with clients, it's true with partners, it's true with projects, it's true with customers, it's true in every aspect of your business. If it doesn't feel right, if it gives you that kind of creepy, weird feeling in your gut or in your chest or in your throat or in your stomach, it's in our body usually, right? You go, listen to that feeling, because that person's a narcissistic, sociopathic scumbag, and you got to run the other way.
I'm really glad you've embraced forgiveness.
No, that's a weak spot. So,
Let
sorry.
me see if I understand this big mistake. Because you didn't feel confident enough to have a business of your own, you cottoned onto a partnership.
Yeah, 2.
Just because you didn't feel like you could make enough money on your own or sell enough of your own or be enough of your own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, it's that you totally nailed it. It's about the being, right? I'm not enough. I'm not sufficient. I got to have someone else with me so that it looks bigger. It feels bigger. It's we instead of me. You know what? I am making the most money now ever in my life, and it's totally all about me. So I've embraced that, not in an egomaniacal way, although it might come across that way. But, I think we need to have the key ingredient that I think most entrepreneurs lack, certainly early on and maybe even later, is this unshakable clarity and this unshakable confidence that they're on the right path, doing the right kind of work with the right kinds of customers for the right kinds of reasons, because that will get you through the dark times. You don't need someone else. You don't need some magical person. Because, we always say, well, I'm the big idea person, right? I'm not the numbers person. I'm not the technical person. I'm not the marketing person. I'm not the salesperson. Guess what? You know what? You are enough. You just need to learn these things. You need to embrace these things. Yes, you have to know your numbers. Does that mean that you can't have a bookkeeper or an accountant or a CFO? Of course you can. Yes, you need to be the marketer in chief and salesperson in chief of your company. Does that mean that you'll never hire marketing help, that you'll never have a full-time salesperson? Of course not. But you need to be, the universe starts with you. And so if you don't feel that you have it all nailed down, you will never be able to grow the organization that you want to grow around you, because you feel that lack, or you feel that gap, or you feel that insufficiency. And that's a terrible place from which to serve your clients. It's a terrible place from which to hire people. It's a terrible place in which to partner and affiliate yourself with other awesome professionals. So don't do it.
Yeah, I can't tell you. I've been doing this show for like a month now, and that question is not the answer we always get, but it's such a good one. It's such a good one, and it's another reason why people try to do events together and speak together, because they think that they themselves are not enough, or they won't fill the room, or people are coming for multiple expertise, that they need more experts in the room rather than you. I can't tell you how I'm happy you said that.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So here's this is the getting naked part. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready. I got it. It's all in there.
So tell us about your biggest fear around showing up in your marketing, whether it's like your real face on video, on stage, or as your real vulnerabilities, like your true opinion. And you don't seem to be the kind of guy to, be shy, but were you ever afraid? And are you afraid of anything?
Well, snakes, primarily. But that's a great question. So I'll tell you, right now, today, as I'm talking to you, and, we're kind of having some fun here, I have no fear about sharing my genuine personality. If you follow me on Facebook, which I think you do, you see my crazy rants. And, some take off and some are like, wow, that guy's just weird. What was that about? So I am completely transparent. My personality comes through everything I do. But I'll tell you where this fear and this obstacle and this blockage came in. Because remember, I said the first 3 years of my business, I was a total train wreck. And I'll tell you why I was a total train wreck, besides trusting all the wrong people. I was doing the wrong work for the wrong clients. So I was doing a lot of corporate work, if you can imagine that. I was doing a lot of corporate work, straight-laced, training, show up in a tie. When I started, and I think, Chala, you know this story, I had 30 different workshops. I was a total generalist, jack of all trades, master of none, no niche, no expertise, no focus, no nothing. But even a blind squirrel sometimes finds a nut. So I would get these training contracts with IBM and Microsoft and Merrill Lynch and these big companies. And so it looked great on the outside, but I would show up, I'd be in a room, I'd look at these 20 faces that were there for that seminar, and I'd say, wow, not my topic, not my people. Not my topic, not my people. Every time I went, and this got worse and worse and worse, over the first 6 months was great. It's like, hey, checks! I'm making some money here. Not a lot, but I was making some. I could put food on the table. But then it's, this unease started to creep in. And that's where I said, well, I can't make that joke. I can't show my personality here with these folks. This really wouldn't fly. In the corporate world, think about it. I mean, we've already talked about getting naked and men with women and women with women and all kinds of stuff. I'm a walking, talking HR issue. I'm a walking, talking HR liability. I do not belong in the halls of corporate America. So we'll just put that out there now. When I switched, and like I said, right now I work exclusively with small and solo business owners, folks like you and me, coaches, consultants, speakers, independent professionals. No corporate. No corporate. 90% of my folks are home office. 90% of my folks are company of one. So I'm with my people. Now, when I'm with my people, when you're with your people, that's awesome, because that's when you can let your personality show. That's when your personality becomes an asset instead of a liability. That's when you can have some fun, and people are attracted. You know this. We're kind of sharing this ideas because I'm not preaching to the choir here. But when you're having fun, people are attracted to professionals who seem to be having fun, because that sense of humor or that sense of fun indicates mastery. And that's a huge, huge point. Folks like you and me, yes, of course, we bring our A game to everything we do. If we're having fun, if we have a sense of humor, especially self-deprecating humor, and we can laugh at ourselves, that is a sign of mastery, because of course you know what you're doing. Now you're free to play, right? There's a great Zen saying. Zen saying is, a master at work is a master at play. And that is so true. So the more you have a sense of ease and a sense of fun, and not that you're not taking your work seriously. You're absolutely taking your work seriously. You're taking your client's success seriously. But you're not taking yourself seriously. And you're having some fun. When I'm on a phone call with one of my coaching clients, almost always at some point during that conversation, we bust out laughing, someone tells a dirty joke, something happens. And my comeback is always, if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. And I totally believe that. So if you're in a business, or if you're in a situation where you have those fears like I had going into the corporate world, and you start to kind of shut down and put up the armor and put up the shields, and oh gosh, I can't say this and I can't do that, and I can't really be myself, and I can't be funny, and I can't be witty, and I can't be warm. Wow, I think you're with the wrong people. You're serving the wrong people. You're getting the wrong checks from the wrong folks for the wrong reason. I would look at shifting and pivoting your business. Now, mine didn't have to shift a lot. I shifted maybe 10 or 15%. I took what I was doing in the corporate world. I threw 80% of it away because I didn't want to have 30 different workshop topics. I focused on marketing, sales, and business development exclusively. No leadership, no time management, no presentation skills, no all the rest of it. And I went from the corporate folks to the entrepreneurial small and solo consultant folks. Now you might say, oh, well, that's a completely different business. No, it's not. I'm still teaching, I'm still coaching, I'm still mentoring, I'm still using that entire spectrum of skill set, but now I'm doing it for my people. And now I'm doing it for folks who need it, folks who value it, and folks who are willing to pay for it. And that makes a huge, huge difference. So that was my escape from the fear. Is I didn't really escape the fear, I escaped the source of the fear, which is doing the wrong work for the wrong people.
So what about people who have a very firmly entrenched niche with corporations and they like it, but what advice would you give them to show their true sense of humor and true self a little bit more than what they're doing now?
Well, sure. I mean, not everyone is a walking, talking HR crisis like I am. Right, and maybe a little bit you also. Yeah. So I think because some people are straight laced and some people have a kind of a dry sense of humor and some people just have no sense of humor at all. Those folks I think are ideally suited for corporate work. But let's say that you're somewhere in the middle. There's a middle ground there. I would just think of, because people work with people. I don't care if you're B2B, B2C, you get hired by corporations, organizations, associations, nonprofits, government. You know what? A single buyer, a single decision maker brought you in. Now, the folks that you work with internal to that company, if you can focus on being the bright spot in their day, you show up like just a happy squeaky wheel. You have just 10% more energy. you have maybe 5% more sense of humor. You just make, you make a little difference in brightening up that environment. And some environments need this a lot, and some environments don't need this at all. But, have a sense of ease, have a sense of comfort. I'm not even going to say a sense of humor or be funny or make jokes, because that's not everybody. But be comfortable in your own skin, and then let the appropriate parts of your personality shine where it connects and where it resonates with them. What I found is, no matter how much I flexed and bended and molded and censored, me plugging into the corporate DNA, it was like organ donor mismatch. It was like, no. So I said, okay, I'm barking up the wrong tree. Now, it took me 3 years to figure out that I was barking up the wrong tree, but what a relief and what a huge, huge difference in my happiness level, my success level, my income level, everything. And I still have many miles to go. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel I've arrived or I'm done or I'm fully baked. Believe me, I'm totally not fully baked. But just being on the right path with the right people where you can leverage that personality is so vitally important to your success.
Absolutely. Awesome. So, how do we reach you? Do you have anything going on you want to give us, share with us?
I got nothing. I'm just here drinking coffee. I got nothing. No website, no social media, no resources. I'm just a worthless guy on TV. Look.
Yeah, right. I can see your damn, do it marketing behind you.
There it is. Yes.
Probably.
That's the biggest book I own. You see how huge that is? Look at that.
And that's a book.
Well, it's a picture of a book. Yes. So thank you for asking. The serious answer is yes, of course, I have a ton of resources for people. They can go to doitmarketing.com. There's a blog, there's video lessons, there's all kinds of fabulous interviews. I think even our interview that we did back in November, if you scroll back, you'll find that video interview. So there's video interviews, there's a podcast you can connect with. There's the Do It Marketing Manifesto. If you do want to pick up the book, and I got to tell you, it's a fabulous book, there are some companion tools and resources around the book at doitmarketing.com/book. So, but there's a lot of free stuff without buying anything just on the website. So check it out, poke around, see what's up there, order a sandwich, do something.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, your energy is so high, I swear to God, you're going to come out of the screen. Like, this is the most energetic we've had of a naked marketing video. Honest to God.
Naked and energetic, that's an unbeatable combo.
It's like some sort of testimonial.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, this is the most energetic naked guy I've ever interviewed. And he wasn't even wearing a towel. No towel.
Yeah, but you did get naked, so we do thank you for that.
My pleasure. No, this was brilliant questions. Thank you so much. Most interviews, it's kind of that surface level. Well, David, what do you think about prospecting and branding and marketing and whatever? And I'm sure you do the same thing when you're being interviewed. It's like, oh my God, how many times can I answer the same goofy question? And you do it, and you do it with a smile because you're a professional and you're awesome. But this kind of thing, wow, awesome. Thank you so much. This was great.
People want the dirt.
They want the dirt. They want to see the ugly.
Yeah, let's be ugly, but then you gave us some hope too.
Yes, Ugly Hope. That's my new book, uglyhope.com.
Thank you so much.
All right, Chala, thanks. See you soon.
Bye.
All right. Wow.